Welcome, everybody. Today is day 42 and the last attribute of our week, Malchut of Yesod, nobility in bonding. Have you ever been in a situation where maybe you've belonged to a relationship that isn't feeding your soul, something doesn't feel quite right, and it kind of almost feels like the life force is being sucked out of you? Or maybe it felt like you had to be less in order for it to work, sublimating the whole of you in order to keep the connection going. Truly bonded relationships reflecting the light of Malchut will have divinity within them. The connections will energize you and they'll make you feel better when engaged in them. When we have connections that encourage us to blossom and grow to our highest and best, we are then experiencing Malchut of Yesod. When we feel most ourselves with another person that we are in relationship with, we have Malchut of Yesod. When we are in relationships where we feel like the best versions of ourselves, we are in Malchut of Yesod. So ask yourself if your relationships are nurturing you and lifting you up. This is something we're going to be talking about all next week as well. Do they promote a sense of dignity on both sides for everybody involved? Or do your connections cause you to feel insecure, maybe a little inhibited or unworthy? We're going to go over a few tips to create dignity in our lives and our relationships. So the first thing that we want to talk about is cultivating respect. It is said that the more you know and respect yourself, the more impact you will have on the people around you. So the absolute first most necessary thing is to respect yourself. Now, this comes up over and over again because it is so crucial to our overall well-being. Without dwelling in respect, we will never find ourselves dwelling in dignity. When you have self-respect and a feeling of self-worth, you are generating dignity. Then look at others, at every living being as being worthy and capable of respect. Shower them with the dignity that they deserve, and it will reflect back upon you. To quote Mitch Albom, this is how you start to get respect. By offering something that you already have. Start with yourself first, then share it with others, and all of your relationships will then radiate the dignity of Malchut. So then you want to be willing to compromise. Now, every relationship is going to have challenges and obstacles. We are all living in the same world with pitfalls and problems around every curve, especially right now during the pandemic. How we handle them together is the measure of the Malchut in our connection. When one party is willing to compromise, battles can be neutralized and dignity then afforded on both sides. The situation and the people involved can maintain their self-respect while striving to work things out. In the end, everyone will get what they need if honest compromise has been attained. Donna Martini is quoted as saying, compromising is not about losing. It is about deciding that the other person has just as much right to be happy with the end result as you do. So then we want to work on being honorable, having integrity in our interactions. Now, compromising is necessary at times to dilute difficult situations. Now, this is not to be confused with compromising your integrity. You should never have to do that. We should never have to sublimate our highest self, treat ourselves or anyone else with anything less than honor. It's a two-way street. When we have honor and integrity in our interactions, then the majesty of Malchut is most manifest. And then we want to create healthy boundaries. In order to have or to show respect for another, we must have healthy boundaries. We've talked about this as well. Respect cannot coexist with dysfunction and codependency. Brené Brown is quoted as stating, when we fail to set boundaries and hold people accountable, that's when we feel used and mistreated. Have you ever felt used and mistreated in a relationship? Think about it. In order for dignity and respect to thrive in all of our connections, we need to respect each other's space and each other's right to be their own person. Stepping over the line, running roughshod over others is the opposite of the direction that we want to be heading. Maintaining healthy connections that recognize and respect each other's needs sets the stage for divinity in all of our relationships. And then, this is a biggie, believe in yourself. You are what you believe. If you believe you are worthy, then you're going to attract like-minded people and relationships. However, if you believe that you are not worthy of love, not worthy of respect, or being treated with dignity, you may perpetuate patterns of abuse that are not easy to get out of until you kind of pull yourself up and learn how to deal with it and have a change of consciousness, a different state of mind. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "You wouldn't worry so much about what others think if you realized how seldom they do." People aren't thinking about us all the time. We kind of get hung up in our heads and we think that they are, but you have to believe that you have value, that you are worthy, and then the rest will fall into place. You will draw the right relationships to you that will be regenerating and bonded in Malchut. And then live like you mean it. We need to talk the talk and walk the walk. Not do as I say and not as I do, which we discussed very early on. As we get toward the end of our counting, we begin to see that themes start to reappear to help reinforce what we've learned. So if you want to be treated with respect and have relationships that generate mutual kingship and glory, you have to live like you merit it and manifest it with your behavior and your actions. So remember, what we put out into the universe, that's what we're going to get back. What we put out into our relationships, that's what we're going to get back. What we think with our mind, that's what we're going to get. Sometimes that's a powerful thing if you manifest positivity and light. We want our connections to radiate the divinity and the fluidity of our soul's light at its most brilliant. When we show others that we will treat them with the same respect that we wish to receive, everybody feels safe enough to deepen the connection and take things to the next level. We want our relationships to always be moving and growing forward rather than be stagnant and withering on the vine. In order to be truly happy and fulfilled individuals with relationships grounded in Malchut, we need to break free of negativity. We need to reach for the respect and the dignity within, and then we need to share it with others. There's a quote from Sidney Harris: "Happiness is a direction, not a place." We need to have direction in our lives and purpose. We need connections with others that are healthy, respectful, and flowing with dignity like a river between all parties. All relationships require effort. To manifest any of the emotional attributes in our life, we need to be directed in heart, mind, and soul toward the goal of self-actualization and elevation. And this is what we're doing with all these attributes. When we focus, meditate, and reflect on their meaning in our lives, and we then apply them with purpose, the purpose of enhancing the relationship that we have with our own selves and all the relationships that we have, then everybody's going to benefit. And the Malchut of Yesod will reign supreme. So tune in tomorrow for the very first day of our last week. Woohoo! Chesed in Malchut. We will have arrived at the pinnacle of our counting process, and the entire week will be devoted to Malchut and then the 7 attributes flowing through it. May we merit the majesty that's inherent in this process, elevating ourselves, each other, and our world. See you tomorrow.